So basically, let's talk about chatbots. So the art of conversing with computers. Na-introduce na ako kanina. So I think this is not, I don't know, not very important anymore. Pero yun nga, currently, I already have 3 years of work experience developing chatbots. And currently, I'm an applications developer in Accra, Philippines. Some of the accomplishments that I have gathered throughout my career would be winning a couple of hackathons with my teammates, with my previous workmates as well. So here are my accomplishments. So far yan pa lang. Pero don't mind that. Okay. So let's start. I think let's start with defining what is a chatbot. So basically, if you think about a chatbot, if you're gonna explain it to a non-tech person, the easiest way to explain what a chatbot is if you're gonna tell them, do you know Google Assistant, Alexa, Siri, so all of those things. So that's the easiest way to describe what a chatbot is. And according to Oracle, as you can see here, it is a computer program that simulates and processes human conversation. So this helps businesses, especially in the business side, to help engage their customers more freely. So ayan. Next, I'll show you the common use cases for the chatbots that we currently have. Okay. Okay. First would be to automate web and online support. So currently ngayon, like magtatagalog ako guys para hindi ganun ka serious, pero okay lang. So right now, we're in the midst of a pandemic. So lahat ng mga ginagawa natin, we've shifted into the virtual world. So we shop online, we do virtual parties online. So lahat yun virtual na. And even yung mga businesses natin ngayon is online. So basically, there's much more needed help para sa mga customer service representatives ng ating mga businesses. So to help ease the burden on the customer service representative, especially small businesses, a chatbot can help by removing that burden of answering repetitive questions or repetitive FAQs. So later, I'm gonna show you how to build a quick chatbot, a low-code chatbot, by helping it and deploying it on Facebook, so that it can help you accommodate customers asking yung mga frequently asked questions na. So one example of an automated web online support chatbot would be the SM Supermouse chatbot. So I'm not sure if you guys tried this before. I'm not sure. Pero basically, the SM Supermouse chatbot is a way to help users to ask the chatbot any mall-related questions like mall hours, guidelines, or you can even find shops in the directory. So this is very helpful, especially during the pandemic na palit-palit tayo ng lockdowns and we have different schedules. For example, we come from GCQ to ECQ. So bago na naman yung mga mall hours natin. So this helps yung mga customer service representative natin that will handle the Facebook page of SM Supermalls in a way na they don't have to keep answering yung mga questions sa Facebook inbox nila na ano yung mall hours ng SM Sukat, na SMBF, na SM Manila. So a user can self-help them to get those information na. So that's one common use case for a chatbot. Another one would be leads generation. So this helps businesses to convert potential prospects into customers. So this is for small businesses, or for example, resorts and hotels, or any business in general, if they want to get customers. So they're gonna lead them to in a business context, may funnel yan. So they want to convert yung mga interested sa product into potential customers. So one way nakakatulong yung chatbot doon is that you can show your services, you can show your products in the chatbot itself. You can also schedule meetings. Pwede mo gawing integrations yan within your chatbot. So I'll show you one example. One example would be, sorry, one example would be Aqua Boracay. So Aqua Boracay is a resort in Boracay, since it's Aqua Boracay. And it shows the different rooms. So customers at the end of the flow can actually reserve a room and book an appointment. So that's one way to do leads generation, to be able to get customers and to get customers. Then next common use case that we have would be e-commerce. So since all of us are in lockdown ngayon, then we can't do shopping, we can't do window shopping. So we moved to online deliveries, Lazada, Shopee, so lahat yan. So mabudol ko mabudol, online deliveries are the thing right now kasi we can't go out. So chatbots can also be a platform to do e-commerce. So one example would be Jollibee. So in their Facebook page, they also created a chatbot where you can have your favorite Jollibee food delivered to your homes using the chatbot in Facebook Messenger. And as you can see, the chatbots that I'm showing to you are all in Facebook Messenger. There's a reason why. Um, sa Philippines kasi, everyone has Facebook and everyone has Facebook Messenger already installed in their phones. Kasi we use that to communicate with our loved ones, our families, our friends. So it's very easy to implement a chatbot since most of your target customers or target audience are already in Facebook. So it's very smart for businesses and companies to deploy a chatbot in a platform where most of their users are already in. So they don't have to download another app or they don't have to go to another platform since it's already in Facebook and it's very easy to access. And okay, so now I'm gonna show you guys what the chatbots are during the time of the pandemic during COVID. So in this article, it says that companies are starting to accelerate their digital transformation. So since lahat ng ano natin, lahat ng aspects ng buhay natin nagre-revolve around virtual ngayon. So mga companies din like work from home setup. Right now I have a work from home setup. So lahat yun, we have to move to virtual. So para makatulong yun for companies, they started leveraging AI chatbots to engage with users during the pandemic. Kasi since yung mga online businesses ngayon, they can't do physical interactions kunyari sa store na may magtatanong or may mag-inquire or lahat yun mapupunta online. So may influx ng users online. So one way to alleviate that stress sa mga CSRs natin would be to use chatbots. Ayan. So there's always a question na I receive naman. Hindi naman I receive. Pero when developing chatbot is that, will chatbots replace human customer service anytime soon? In my opinion, no. And may mga articles din nagsasabi na no, it shouldn't then kasi we build chatbots. In my perspective, we build chatbots in a way not to replace human customer service, but rather we build chatbots in order to help and maintain a harmonious relationship with human customer service. So may mga lacking sa chatbot. For example, chatbots, may ibang chatbots are built na hindi sila human-like. So parang walang human touch. Some people prefer talking to a human agent kasi alam nilang tao yun and they know na they care for the customer kasi ano yun customer service yun so alam nilang pag tayo yung kausap nila alam nilang may customer service talaga and some people na okay lang din na to talk to a chatbot kasi they know 24/7 online yung chatbot and they can get the answers immediately. Ayun lang. So that's why I believe when creating or developing your own chatbot, you should take into consideration na we build chatbots not to replace or take away jobs from other people, but rather to help them with their jobs para maging mas productive sila with their jobs. So instead of the human customer service answering repetitive questions na nakakasayang ng oras at productivity, they can just focus more on yung mga high priority na clients or mga urgent na concerns instead of answering yung mga repetitive questions. So that's why I believe na hindi ma-replace yung chatbots yung mga human customer service agents natin anytime soon. Ayan. Okay, so in the COVID-19 pandemic, we started rolling out vaccines. And in Kazakhstan, they held a survey where kung sino yung mga gusto magpa-vaccine. And it turns out sa survey ng Kazakhstan, only 25% of the population, or yung sa survey nila, 25% of the people who answered the survey are willing na magpa-vaccine. Because one, may misinformation around Kazakhstan, and another one is uneducated yung iba. So they're not aware of kung saan gawa yung vaccine, what they do, what are the side effects and stuff like that. So Kazakhstan, together with the Red Cross, created a COVID-19 vaccine chatbot to answer those myths and to educate the people and to improve their vaccine confidence na gusto magpa-vaccine ng mga tao. So that's one way of chatbots helping us during the pandemic. Yan. So to spread information talaga. That's good. Another one, this is very recent. Vice President Lenny Robredo created a teleconsultation service, free teleconsultation service called Bayanihan iKonsulta. This is not a conversational type of chatbot, but more of a click bot where the user is guided when they want to schedule e-consult with a doctor, with a physician. So, yeah. This is very important, and since this is also in Facebook, it's very much accessible for everyone. And also the advantage of deploying your chatbot in Facebook is they can use the free data. So not all of us have access to mobile data or Wi-Fi, and Facebook launches the free data in our country. So they can still access the chatbot even though they don't have data. So that's very important, and that's very good on the side of doing this chatbot for teleconsultation, especially now that we have rising cases. So yeah, so those are some of the examples of what chatbots are doing during the time of the pandemic. Okay, so now let's go to the nitty-gritty now. Let's try to develop your own chatbot. First question, how does a chatbot understand my message? And the answer to that is by using natural language processing. So imagine, think of NLP as a way for the computers to understand what we say. Kaya tayo naiintindihan ni Google Assistant, kaya tayo naiintindihan ni Alexa, ni Siri, because they use natural language processing, or NLP, to be able to extract information from the things that we are saying. Okay, then we have the next question. What data does my chatbot need to be able to answer these queries? First is the utterance, or it is anything that the user says. So utterance is, for example, ano ba? Gusto ko mag-order ng 6 pieces of chicken joy. That's an utterance. It's something that the user says. Next important thing to remember when developing a chatbot is intents. So intents are the intentions of the end user. These intentions or intents are conveyed by the user to your bot. So, for example, sabihin ko, gusto ko mag-order ng 6-piece chicken joy. Ano yung intent ko? Is to order food. So that's my intention, na yun yung gusto kong gawin ng chatbot. Tulungan ako mag-order ng 6-piece chicken joy. Yan. So that's one good example of an intent. This is what you want your bot to do. And next is entities. So it is a keyword that modifies the intent. So there are 2 types. First is general entity. So metrics like quantity, size, mga ganun. Metrics, dates, and location. And there are also things that are called composite entities. Those are entities having more than one component entity inside it. Next slide, I'll show you an example. Okay, composite entity example. So the utterance is, find me a pair of size 8 red Adidas sports shoes. So your composite entity would be the product info. Since we want to get the entities, right, size is equal to 8, color is the red, what brand, Adidas, category is sports shoes. So that's an example of a composite entity. So to sum things up, for entities, it is anything that modifies the utterance or the intent. So, kagaya, una ka example kanina, gusto ko mag-order ng six pieces na Chicken Joy. So, yung gusto kong orderin would be 6 pieces, yung quantity, 6 pieces. Tapos, anong product? Chicken Joy. So, those are my two entities for that intent, for that utterance. Ayan. Okay, so how will my chatbot learn all of the data that I gave it? So since we're gonna give them a lot of data on intents, utterances, entities, paano ilo-learn yung chatbot yun? So we do that by training your chatbot. So madami yan eh. In training, you can, the best practice for training your chatbot, kasi imagine your chatbot is like a kid na wala pa siyang alam. Once you build your chatbot from scratch, or any chatbot that you have, or any chatbot that you create, basically they don't have any knowledge, as in zero, wala talaga. As in wala. So you try to teach them yung mga utterances ng users, you try to teach them yung mga intent. So sa bawat intent, there are certain utterances. So dito in the slide, you can see, if possible, train intents with original corpus of conversations, otherwise train with manufactured utterances. So by the first sentence, yung train intents with original corpus of conversations, it means that it's much better to train your chatbot using conversations that you already have. For example, you're in a Facebook page. Sa Facebook page mo, sa isang business mo sa Facebook page, you already have tons of conversations with your customers. So it's much better to train your chatbot with those conversations. Kasi yun, real life, real life utterances yun. How the user will interact with your bot. How your users will possibly interact with your chatbot. Kung paano nila kakausapin. So that's much better compared to manufactured utterances. So this is where, before we deploy a chatbot, we train them in a way na bibigyan na natin yung isang intent. Intent ng order food. So you can have as minimum as 5 utterances, like gusto ko mag-order ng Jollibee. Gusto ko paano mag-order sa Jollibee? Gusto ko ng Chicken Joy. Gusto ko ng Jolly Hotdog. Gusto ko ng palabok. So you train your utterances with different types of entities then as well. So your chatbot or your NLP model will be able to detect those entities itself as yung entity 9 is food product. So Jolly Hotdog, palabok, Chicken Joy, yung mga yun, matitrain din. So ma-recognize din siya kasi it will be in a sort of pattern kung saan mangyayari yung what you call this, yung mga entities mo. So it's much better to train your chatbot with existing conversations that your users have with your page. So that is much better. And once you deploy your chatbot, kasi it doesn't end there, na pag na-deploy mo na yung chatbot mo, it's done. It's a finished product. No. Kasi from there, doon pa lang matututo talaga yung chatbot mo. Na once they start receiving real messages from users. Kasi doon mo matitrain, hindi naman lahat ng may message sa page mo for sure English yung sasabihin. May magta-Taglish, may magta-Tagalog, minsan may magje-Jejomon pa, sure yon. At may mga manggugulo din sa sa chatbot mo. May magte-test, may manggugulo, parang ganun. So it doesn't end there. It's continuously training your NLP model to be able to learn more about to be able to accurately get the right answer for your customers. So it's a process of retraining it every time And to the point na minimal na lang yung um, error rate mo. So that's the goal, not to completely what do you call this? Not completely, excuse me, not completely um, getting your chatbot to answer everything na no error. But walang ganon kasi there's no perfect chatbot na hindi siya magkakamali, na wala siyang false positives, na always tama yung sagot. There's no such thing as a perfect chatbot. But what is more ideal is a chatbot that has a minimal error rate. So that's the goal when you're creating and deploying your chatbot. And so there are two ways on how to build your chatbot. One way would be using no code. So no code chatbot. So you can create your chatbots, especially Facebook Messenger chatbots. Very rampant na yung dami ng ng bot builders for Facebook Messenger kasi yun yung pinakamadaling mag-deploy ng chatbot. If you think of a chatbot, if I think of a chatbot, ang una ko nasa isip ay nasa Facebook Messenger yan. Kasi halos lahat ng Facebook optimize their APIs for their messaging API to integrate with chatbots talaga. So that's one reason then kung bakit maganda ang mga chatbots in Facebook, because Facebook is continuously developing their APIs para to improve chatbot experiences. And that's been their focus since I think that was 2018 when they started when they announced na they're gonna allow chatbots na in Messenger. So from there sobrang dami na ng improvements in the platform. Kaya madami kang makikita ngayon yung mga no code na to create your own chatbot. Mostly nasa Facebook yung platform. Pero yung iba dyan, like Mobile Monkey, I know pwede din siya sa omnichannel, so you can deploy it in other platforms as well. ChatFuel is in Facebook, ManyChat as well. Facebook yan, Facebook yung deployment ng chatbot mo. I'm not sure kay ManyChat if it's omnichannel as well, if you can deploy it to other other platforms. Okay, so that's one. No code or low code low code chatbots. Another one would be building it from scratch. So you're gonna use your chatbot frameworks to build your own chatbot from scratch, to train your own NLP models. One is Microsoft Bot Framework. Very developer friendly siya kasi it supports multiple channels already. You can deploy your chatbot, write your code once, deploy your chatbot once, and you can deploy it to multiple channels without ever changing your code to accommodate a certain channel. So from what I remember, Microsoft Bot Framework, you can deploy it to Facebook, Telegram, Microsoft Teams. You can deploy it on your website. You can do that, and you can also build your own custom UI just to host your chatbot. That's also available. You also have IBM Watson and Amazon Lex, so they have their NLP services as well. Kay Microsoft Bot Framework pala guys, for NLP, we use LUIS, so Language Understanding Integrated Services, if I'm not mistaken, LUIS. Yan. So LUIS is the NLP service to be able to extract intents and to be able to get the intents and extract the entities from the user conversations. Microsoft Bot Framework is just the way on how to build your own chatbot. So yeah. Okay. So for this demo, for the demo ko today, we will be creating a chatbot using Azure Q&A Maker. So the difference between what is Azure Q&A Maker pala muna? So it is a cloud-based NLP service that allows you to create a natural conversational layer over your data. So basically, it helps you create a knowledge base. So parang imagine yung mga FAQs mo from your website, from a file, may mga PDF ka ng mga frequently asked questions mo. You can use that to build a service where based on a question, mag-respond siya ng sagot na yun. So in a Q&A Maker, you build your knowledge base, as well as after creating your knowledge base, you can now create your own chatbot. You can connect it to the Microsoft Bot framework. So you can create your own chatbot. So pwede mo siya i-deploy into different what do you call this? Different channels. So Facebook, Microsoft Teams. You can also connect it to Viber, but you still have to code you still have to code that middleware so you can render out messages to Viber. So that's what's great about Microsoft Bot Framework. I highly recommend it. Okay, so I think it's time for the demo. Ang bilis ata ng presentation ko. Pero baka matagalan tayo sa demo. Let's see. Okay, wait lang. Okay. Okay. So let's try to create a resource dito. First you have to create is demo na talaga. Okay. Hi. So dasal tayo na walang error sa demo natin. Let's pray to the IT gods na di mag-error in demo. Okay. First, let's make a Q&A maker resource kay Azure. Also, if you want to try this out, there's a tutorial for this kay Microsoft. And that's one good kay Microsoft na is that they have yung mga lab exercises to do these exercises. And you can also create your own Azure subscription for free. I'm not sure sa JPCS, pero during my time sa UST, meron kaming free Azure credits to be able to build out para magamit namin yung mga resources ni Azure, yung mga app services, Cosmos, mga Azure Directory, mga ganyan. Meron kami nun. I'm not sure sa JPCS. Siguro meron. I'm assuming meron yan. And you can create your own, you can have your own subscription para magawa niyo din to. I can send out the resources later para ma-replicate ito. So, yan. So, tuloy tayo. Create a Q&A maker. I'm building this from scratch para may thrill tayo, guys. Para okay tayo. So, let's create a new resource group. JPCS demo. Okay. So we have to put it in a closest to us, Southeast Asia. Then we have to put a name. Bigyan natin ng name, yung Q&A maker natin. I'll show you guys later what do you call this? On how to build your knowledge base. So kasama yan. So pricing tier, you can do the free one para lang sa demo na to. For the Azure search details, pick the region closest to you. That would be Southeast Asia. Pricing tier would be free. This is for a demo. Pero pag you have to go into production, may mga pricing, may mga pricing, what do you call this? Calculations naman dyan before you put it into production. Then app service details, kasi i-deploy to as an API. So you can call your knowledge base via an API. Then later, app insights, disable na natin for now. Then review and create. Let's see. Medyo matagal yan ng onte. Yan, i-deploy siya. So while waiting for that, I'll show you guys an example of the no-code habang nag-deploy ka matagal to. Yung sa chat fuel. So this is chat fuel. As you can see, you can create your own flows. So very no-code siya. You don't have to code anything. Magko-code ka lang dito if you want to integrate your APIs, if you want to integrate services like gusto mo ng weather API or you want to create your own services. Kunyari, sa business mo, excuse me. Mayroon kang mga services na weather services, location services, mga ganon. Doon ka lang magko-code talaga. Pero basically, very low code on chat fuel. As you can see, lang siya, para ka lang gumagawa ng flowchart kung saan pupunta yung mga users mo. So as you can see ito, nagsasend ng image, magpapakita ka ng text, and you can also send out buttons. Yan. Then you can redirect to a user to a certain flow. Pwede mo mapapakita yung mga images dito ng mga products mo, and you can also redirect it to a website, pwede din. So very low code. I suggest you guys check out Chatfuel if you want to do a simple chatbot for kung gusto mo lang mag-dev, or if you want a happy project, pwede din to. So okay to. And is it complete? Okay, let's go to resource. Q&A maker portal. Okay, so now we're gonna create our knowledge base. So ilalagay na natin dito yung mga what do you call this? Yung mga FAQs natin. So we're just gonna make a basic FAQ bot. Hindi ko kaya gumawa ng very long conversational chatbot and training all of it in this short span of time. So ano na to? Very basic Q&A lang. Okay, so dito sa Q&A maker, so this is the portal for it. So this is where you can create your knowledge base. Connect lang natin sa subscription ko, Q&A service, PCSTEM demo, and choose the language, English. Yeah. Name your KB. By the way, we're gonna use the FAQ of Unbelievable. So this is you can create your knowledge base via the FAQ of a website, yung website page kung saan nakalagay FAQ mo. So this is from my friend sa high school. So this is her website. So yan. So you can see it's an e-commerce website about plants. And from there, gagamitin natin yung FAQs nito. So we can deploy it to Facebook. So papakita ko sa inyo later. Yan. Let's go back here, Q&A maker, knowledge base, unbelievable FAQs. Yeah, so let's just name it. Populate your KB. As you can see, you can add URL. So this one, let's just put this here. And from there, si Azure na bahala na gagawin yung Q&A pairings na. And you can also add a file. So pwede din sa file, like if you have a PDF na may heading, then answer, heading and answer. Pwede yun. Kaya ayusin Microsoft yun for you. And also we have what we call chit chat. So ito yung mga small talk, yung mga hi, hello, what's the weather, and stuff like that. You can add it para hindi naman boring yung chatbot mo. You can add it. And they also have different tones. If you want your business to be more professional sounding, yan, important din yun. So in chatbots kasi, it's very deep. Madami ka pang pwedeng i-explore once you start going into chatbots. There's what you call conversation design. There should be good UX, user experience, when you're deploying, when you're creating your chatbot. Especially when you're doing flows, yung flow ng conversation mo. That's very important. So that's a whole different topic in conversation designing. And also on training. So there are different ways to train your chatbot, or different ways to execute a knowledge base. So pwedeng multiple knowledge bases sa isang chatbot, titingnan niya dalawang FAQs, kunyari magkaibang products, pwede din yung ganun. So malawak talaga ang realm ng chatbots once you start developing. So there's a lot to learn when you're in chatbot. So chit chat, lagay tayo ng friendly na chit chat. Then let's try creating our knowledge base. Okay, create your KB. Okay, so while this is deploying, what else can I share? There's also what we call in Microsoft, there's what we call a responsible AI. So responsible AI. Habang nagpa-publish ko siya. So this is what we call responsible AI in Microsoft. we should be responsible for um, building our building out our chatbots. So hindi lang naman in chatbot, but in dealing with AI systems. So including yung mga computer vision mo, so yung mga OCR and stuff like that. Pero when it comes to chatbot, um, ano dyan is reliability and safety. Actually lahat to. Pero mostly dito it would be reliability and safety. This comes in naman when it comes to if you want to build a chatbot for healthcare, we should be very careful, especially when we're developing chatbots for any type of na pwede makaharm sa user. For example, yung sa um, dun sa Bayanihan e-consulta, very responsible sila na they have licensed physicians to be able to answer those questions from the users. Kasi not necessarily yung chatbot yung sumasagot doon, but rather the chatbot is guiding the user para ma-connect siya to a physician, a licensed physician. And from there, siya yung sasagot. So another one would be privacy and security. You have to make sure yung mga conversations, the data that we gather during chatbot conversations are stored and secured na hindi siya na-access ng kahit sino. And transparency. One more important is transparency. Lalo na ngayon na we have private GDPR sa Google. We have to make sure na transparent tayo sa users natin na gagamit ng chatbot natin na okay, we're gonna collect this data, then we're gonna use it for this processes, then paano namin siya i-store. So it's important that yung mga users mo alam how they know how you're gonna process their data. Ayan. So let's see if okay na siya. Yan. Let's go back here. Yan. So here's the knowledge base that we have. So ito yung source natin is from Unbelievable FAQs. If makikita mo, ito siya. So ito yung question, ito yung answer. And from there, ginawa niya na ng question and answer. So it's much easier for you. So also, you can do, I'll show you pala yung isa pa. Another source would be yung sa chit-chat. Yan. So since nag-enable tayo ng chit-chat kanina, Azure or Q&A Maker, gumawa sila ng mga questions or mga utterances. So imagine, these are the utterances. Excuse me. Excuse me, sorry. So these are the utterances, yung mga pwede mong sabihin ng user just to make small talk to the bot. Nga ito, please tell me if you're a woman, are you a girl, what's your gender, are you a boy? So may masasagot si knowledge base. So ayan. So we can save and train. So let's train this. Train natin yung model so we can test it later. Then we will test it. Ayan. Let's wait for it. And let's test. Gana siya. Let's try, is there a minimum order? Yes, yan. Yes, there is. Minimum order of 500, shipping fees included. Pwede ba din namang hindi sabihin diretso yung is there a minimum order? Minimum order. Yan. So, hindi naman siya, that's the beauty of NLP. Hindi lang siya searching for keywords. As in, you can basically train your chatbot to be able to understand kahit hindi yung full phrase. Like, nandun naman yan. I'll show you one example kung saan siya pwedeng pumalya. See, ito yan. When is the delivery? Okay, when is the delivery? I'll try, when will my order be delivered? Halatang nag-practice ako, diba? And when will my order be delivered? Yan. So, I was expecting, we were expecting na ito dapat yung isasagot niya. Pero, ang binalik yung knowledge base natin is, yes, this can be arranged. Please do let us know. Ang binalik niyang, binalik niyang answer is from the intent yung, imagine this is the utterance, when is the delivery? The intent is, delivery information. Ganun, utterance. Ito yung nakakuha niya. What do you call this? This one. Pick up. pick up instead of delivered. Kaya ito yung intent, pick up instead of delivered. Ito yung nakuha niya. So one way, so that's why it's very important to test out your knowledge base before you deploy it, just to make sure na hindi ka magkaroon ng false positives na iba yung ibabalik sa'yo ng chatbot mo. So we can try adding the question kanina. When will my order be delivered? Yeah. So this is another utterance to trigger this intent para makuha natin itong sagot na to. So let's save and fail. Medyo matagal lang siya ng slide. Yeah, now let's try it again. When will my order be delivered? Ayan. So ngayon, makikita natin, makukuha na natin yung tamang sagot dapat. So yan. For convenience delivery during the weekends, make sure to place order before 9 on Fridays. Yan. So right now, okay na yung knowledge base natin. It works na. We can try also the chip chat din pala. Are you a boy? Yan. So, nag-reply siya ng chip chat. So, mga ganyan. So, kunwari, para if ever may nagloloko sa sa mga customers mo or mga users ng chatbot mo, at least may masasagot. Hindi lang siya yung mag-return ng generic response na, I don't understand or I'm still learning, mga ganun. Kasi, that's one way of handling yung mga errors is to send out a generic response if your chatbot doesn't know how to answer a certain question. To give out a generic response. Ayan. So I think in the settings, you can, what do you call this? Sorry. Dito pala. So now we can publish pala siya. Now we can publish this and we can integrate it to a chatbot. Now we can deploy it to a chatbot or to an app. Kasi this one will create an API that you can consume so that pwede mo siyang tawagin from via the internet. So ito. So ito yung curl niya. As you can see, you can call this endpoint and you can add your question and mag-respond siya ng sagot. Hold on. I'll try opening my Postman. May Postman ba ako dito? Wait lang. I don't have Postman. Hold. Let's try Postwoman. Hopscotch na siya. Okay. So we can try calling that API. Hold on. This is the host. Host. Q&A maker is here. This is the endpoint. Okay. We need a authorization. So endpoint key. So headers to. Let's go to the headers. Authorization. Let's paste that value and content type. Application JSON. So you can receive a JSON response. Then for the body, where's the body? Request body admin. Let's do raw input. Let's use this. Our question would be, when will my order be delivered? Let's hope it works. Send natin. Ayan. So it sends a response to 100. And ito siya. It will send out a JSON response with a corresponding answer. So for example, you have a mobile app. So you can create your own chatbot and do it in a mobile app. So nasa mobile app, you can build out a chat UI. Then from there, integrate that API. Then, yun. it will also show a score of 100. So itong score na to, this is from 0 to 100. This is how sure yung NLP mo dun sa sagot niya. So what we can do to avoid false positives is we can set a threshold. So in your code, in the back end, what we can do is set a threshold. So this is what we call a confidence threshold. So we would only accept answers dito na would score within the threshold. So kunyari, threshold natin would be 50. So 50. So dapat ang score niya is above 50 so that we can send it to the user. Otherwise, pag hindi siya pumasa dun sa threshold, what we can do is we can send a generic response na, sorry, I'm still learning, or I don't understand it, you can try again later, parang ganon. So ayan. So that's the importance of having a score as well. Okay, so now we see na gumagana na siya sa API, na it's a service already that you can use. Now let's try to deploy it in a chatbot. Create bot. Then from there, mag-create ka ng chatbot mo using a web app bot. So for this demo, we'll be deploying it to Facebook. Bot handle, let's just name it unbelievable bot. Then subscription, resource group, location nearest to us, Southeast Asia. Pricing tier, you can do free lang muna for this demo. App name, also you can do like this. Yung SDK language, since Microsoft Bot Framework can support a lot of languages, including Node.js, .NET Core, Java, Python, and Python. But mostly, ang malaki ang community would be .NET and Node.js. So you can easily create your chatbot with a lot of support. Since Stack Overflow is live, madaming tutulong sa atin. And yung documentation, sobrang lawak, sobrang laki. And hindi ka mahihirapan gumawa ng chatbot mo. Kasi lahat yun online and everyone's there to help you. Very active in community. So that's one good way din pala. Kaya I like using this. Let's create hindi yan. App Service Plan, GPCS Dev Demo. So closest to us, Southeast Asia, then create. Important pala to SDK language, kasi later, if you want to download your chatbot, the source code, you can, and you can edit it. So if you want to further your development for it, much better, kasi you can edit your code and redeploy again. So ayan. So let's create. Yan. While it's creating, I'll show you the Azure Bot Service. Yeah, this one. This one is the Azure Bot Service. So you can integrate it to many platforms. So you can integrate to Slack, to Kik, to Line, Messenger, to your own website, to Telegram as well. And yan. Ano ba pwede kayo ipakita sa'yo habang nag-deploy yan? Can easily create, yun. Yan, ito pala yun. So this is the sinusundan kong like dyan, step-by-step tutorial on how to create your very own TNA Maker chatbot. So ito yung mga bare bones nito, as in very easy to do it. Very easy to do, may mga example. So this is, the documentation is free. Everyone can access this. You can just search Q&A Maker chatbot and you can start building your own chatbot from there. And daming examples sa GitHub. So nakaka-motivate maggawa ng chatbots kasi sobrang laki ng community and there's a lot of people that can help you. Deploy pa siya. Yeah, medyo matagal siya. So while deploying, I'll show you guys what you need for deploying it to Facebook. So first would be, you need to create a Facebook app. So Facebook for developers. Yan. So dito, you can create a Facebook app. So dito ka mag-create ng chatbot app mo. So yung from Azure, i-connect mo to Facebook. So you can connect it to your Facebook page. So recently, Facebook announced a messaging API for Instagram. They opened their API for Instagram, so there's more room to build out chat apps for Instagram as well. From what I know, what else? And you can create your messenger chatbots there. Also, yung documentation mo for this is very, very huge for Messenger. Wait lang. Hindi ko siya tapos. Okay. Sige. Padaldal muna tayo na slide. Ayan. So, you can see the different ways on how to, where is it? Different ways to improve the experience of your users. You can do templates. So as you can see, may mga buttons, may mga images, na hindi na siya purely chat. So from there, if you want to do it na ganun na siya, you have to edit your code na. If you're gonna do it from scratch. Ngayon, dito sa Q&A Maker, you have to do it from scratch. Pero for low-code chatbots or no-code na chatbots like ChatFuel, they do it for you. You just have to build it out dito. Magpo-provide ka lang ng images and content. But also, you can start creating your own chatbots. You can send out templates, mga buttons, mga ganyan. You can also send out sheets if you have an e-commerce chatbot, mga ganyan. Also, madami yan. As you can see, makikita mo dun sa messaging, ang laki ng available APIs for you to improve your chatbot experience. They are handover protocol. So, dito papasok yung mga, if you want to transfer the customer from a chatbot conversation to a live agent conversation. Kunyari, may mga hindi na talaga masagot sa chatbot and the user wants to talk to a live agent. Facebook created this API para pwede mag-work together yung chatbot and the live agent. So, ayun. So, that's the purpose of the handover protocol. So, as you can see, madami talaga yung ginawa si Facebook for this. Ayun. Ayun, tapos na siya. So, let's go to the resource. So, ito pala, I prepared a Facebook app. So, ano lang naman to? Create lang naman to. There's a step-by-step for this. So, now let's go to this one. Okay. As you can see, dito sa overview, you can download the bot source code. So, naka-zip yan. Then, you can open it in your, sa VS Code mo or whatever IDE that na ginagamit mo. So, you can download that. Download na lang natin. And, download na ba? Antayin natin siya nag-download. Okay. So, we can test it in web chat. So, working na dapat siya dito. It should be able to respond here. Let's wait for it lang. Yan. So, we can try shipping fee. Yan. So, it replies na galing kay Q&A Maker. So, we can check our knowledge base. My knowledge bases. Close na natin ito. Para ano. Yan. So, shipping fee. How to place an order. Yan. How to place an order. So, ito yung parang emulator. So, this is where you can test out your chatbot before deploying it to a channel. So, it means it's working. So, we can try deploying it already. So, sa channels, this is where the magic happens. Yan. So, you can deploy it in a web chat. So, as you can see, you can just embed it. Iframe lang siya. If you have an existing website, you just have to copy paste this one. Copy paste it on sa code mo. Then deploy yung website mo. Meron na siyang widget na may widget na siya na for your chatbot. So that's one channel that you can access yung web chat. Tapos, let's go to Facebook. Ayan. So to connect your bot to a Facebook page, you need the following details. So yung app ID and app secret can be found in your Facebook app. So nandito yung app ID. Ayan. Then for the app secret, we can check it in the settings and the basic. So show natin to. Password. Sana hindi, naka-add ako na siya. Ayan. So we can copy the secret. Then we need the page ID and the page access token. Okay. So as you can see, creating a Facebook chatbot already has a lot of terms that you need to learn and very deep in API ni Facebook. So there's a lot to learn from access tokens to permissions and how to access it and stuff like that. Pero ito yung pinaka-basics na. So for the page ID, wait, hold on. This is the page that I created. So kagabi lang din to, Patrick demo. And the page ID can be seen sa URL, this one. So this is your page ID, that one. So let's copy this here. And the page access token is the one na gagamitin para makapag-render ng, para makapag-send ng messages yung bot mo to Facebook. So to do that, you have to generate a token. So ito yung page ko. You have to generate a token specific to that page kung saan may kakabit. Then I understand, then copy. Then from there, paste mo siya dito. Then you can save. So it's saved. So next thing is that you have to add a callback URL. So for this one, ito yung tatawagin ni Facebook tuwing may pumapasok na messages sa Facebook page mo. So every time your Facebook page receives a message, they will send a request papunta dito sa callback URL mo. Because from there, si bot na bahala mag-render out nung tatawagin niya na yung Q&A maker mo. And verify token. Yan. Verify and save. Then from there, you have to make sure that you add the subscriptions. For Facebook, there are a lot of subscriptions for messages. So, madami yan. So, sobrang dami. So, pero ang pinaka-important lang dyan to get your chatbot up and running would be the messages and messaging postbacks. Yung handovers, echoes, that's a whole different topic. It talks about yung handover mo from the chatbot to a live agent. So, madami yan. So basically, we just need our callback URL or our chatbot to receive messages at saka postbacks. Postbacks are from button clicks. So kaya we need to receive that as well. So if may mga button clicks tayo, matatanggap siya ng chat kasi nakasubscribe tayo to those fields. So save natin. Then dapat connected na sa page natin. It should work. Dapat. So let's test the button. As you can see, yan yung demo ko kagabi. Nagpa-practice ako, guys. Test the button. Yan. Shipping fee. It should work. Sana it works. Yan. Ay, wait lang. Yan. It works. So it works. Itong kanina, itong lumabas na to, if you can see, ay, hindi ko pala mapapakita yung code. Hindi siya nag-download. Sa code kasi, there's a parang listener if the user is a new user dun sa chatbot na every time na may bagong pumapasok, magsisend siya ng welcome message. So ito yung nasa source code nun. So ito yung nasa sa example source code. Then nagsend na tayo ng shipping fee. When will my order be delivered? Yan. So basically, we have our chatbot now ready in our Facebook page. And actually, hindi pa natatapos yun. If once you connected it, hindi pa to live to your customers. You still have to submit it for approval kay Facebook. Um, kasi Facebook has been very strict na with their messaging APIs ever since yung, what do you call this? Yung leak, yung nasa US before. So, naging very strict sila with the messaging API. So you have to submit it for review. You have to let Facebook know kung anong ginagawa ng chatbot mo and ano yung purpose niya. So to be able yung mga customers mo ma-access to. Right now, kaya siya nagre-reply sa akin kasi admin ako or tester ako sa chatbot na yun. Yun. You can also add testers. Kunyari, sa isang dev team, sa isang dev team, you can add yung mga QA mo from here. So they can test at the chatbot kahit hindi pa siya live. So, I guess that's it. Successful yung demo natin. Di tayo nagka-issues, I think. Yan. So, any questions? I think okay na tayo for Q&A. Let's do a Q&A if you guys have any questions. I'm all ears. Wait lang. Di kita marinig, Claude. What's your name? Sorry. I can't hear you. Sorry.
Okay, so thank you for that wonderful informative talk and demonstration, Sir Patrick. And at this point, we would like to know our attendees that the table is now open for your questions. So you may send your questions through our Zoom chat, or you may opt to unmute yourself. But before unmuting yourself, kindly ensure that you will be raising your hand and need to be acknowledged by our host. So ayan, so may mga questions ba tayo? Feel free to enter your questions sa ating Zoom chat or raise your hand. So ayan, I think si Jake Manahan. So Jake, you may unmute now.
Hello.
Okay, sige, sa chat now. So
sa chat natin.
Okay, Jake, you can send your question for Sir Patrick. For other attendees, you can send in your questions through the chat box or raise your hand.
And guys, I'll try to answer everything kung kaya.
Okay, we have a question for Sir Patrick from Zoraida Examen.
Okay.
She said, I am no tech savvy and have difficulty learning this at once. So is there a step-by-step video where we can access?
Yes. I can send materials later after this webinar. Microsoft has a lot of step-by-step yung mga video tutorials, as well as if it's in ChatFuel, especially in ChatFuel, marami silang ways on how to set up your chatbot, your very first chatbot, very easily. So there are a lot of resources you can access. I'll try to send some resources after the webinar.
From Jake Manahan, do you think that chatbots will develop to a point where they could be on par with human customer service employees?
Yes. Kagaya nung what I said earlier dun sa will they replace, not necessarily replace, but they could be on par with human customer service. Para that's actually that's the goal in a way. para matulungan yung mga customer service natin to be able to handle yung much harder inquiries na hindi kaya natin. Kasi at some point, di din naman kaya sagutin lahat ng chatbot. And some people would really prefer talking to human agents din kasi. So, there's a point then, if your chatbot is fully matured, there's what we call parang maturity in chatbot development na yung chatbot mo is having less errors na when it comes to answering questions and stuff like that. So that's where I think yung question na if they can be on par with customer agents, I think that's possible. Yan.
From Kurt Gabriel Royales. Good PM, sir. Do you have any idea about the starting prices when investing on bot builders?
For bot builders, there is for example for Chatfuel, it's a subscription base. You have to pay for how many subscribers you have in a month. So for example, in wait lang, let me pull it up. Pricing. Okay. I'll just share my screen for a bit. Hold on. Chatfuel. This one. So as you can see, for example, in Chatfuel, it's much a bit expensive then, because in Pro you have your price adjusted according to the number of subscribers. So pag mas maraming nag-interact sa chatbot mo, mas malaki yung binabayaran mo monthly. So very siya, for the convenience kasi it's a matter of choosing whether you want to build it on your own and just spend on hosting it, for example sa Azure, to host your chatbots in Azure or in AWS or GCP, or you can do bot builder na ang binabayaran mo is yung mga subscribers mo, especially pag alam mo it will gain friction, yung madaming magme-message talaga. This might not be the way to go kasi lalaki yung bill mo. So, this is one example lang dun sa pricing ni Chatfuel. Pero if you think, naman siya, parang small scale lang naman siya, or okay lang siya. And alam ko sa trial, you have until 2,000 users, 2,000 interactions with your chatbot. So if may mga bago pang users above 2,000, I think doon ka na magbabayad. You will be suggested to use the Pro Pro feature already. So, yun lang siya.
From Lyron Askan, is there any tips to implementing chatbots to one's own website?
Okay. For implementing your own chatbot, there are many ways actually. One way would be the web chat that I mentioned earlier. It's about framework. You can embed it directly na naka-iframe lang siya. So, lalabas na siya nasa website mo siya, nasa widget siya. Yung usually nakikita mo. Nasa lower right corner siya. So, that's one way. One way then, if you develop a chatbot for Facebook and you want to add it to your website, si Facebook naman, meron siyang sariling widget na you can use to integrate to your website. As well as, ano din yun? Snippet of code lang din yun, coming from Facebook. Ang makikita mo naman sa, what you call it, sa website mo is the messenger icon. So, yun yung makikita mo. But if you want more kung gusto mo siya mas customizable siya, you can also build your own, what do you call this, UI for it. Ayun. Suggestion for websites, depende sa need mo. If you really need to do customizations on your or kung sa tingin mo kaya na ng chat content mo yung mga mga buttons lang, mga carousels lang, and you don't have much time, I suggest going for the pre-built web widgets from either Microsoft or Facebook. That's if you're coming for time. Pero if naman siya, you want it to be fully custom. Kanya gusto mo mag-send ng mga attachments and stuff like that. Yun, din yun. You can build your own custom UI.
From Gail Donas, Sir, meron po bang pwede naming mapagpraktisan lalo na pag starter ka pa lang bukod po sa mga trials na ino-offer ng ibang chatbot makers?
You can try creating your own chatbot you can try coding. Um, I know it's very daunting. Not everyone loves to code. I have friends then from my batch na really doesn't like to code, and it's okay. Pero ano kasi, if you find joy in coding, I suggest you do check documentations for what do you call this? For building your own chatbot from scratch. There's a joy to learning something new. Well, that's on my perspective because as a developer, I really like learning new things. Kaya when I check documentation and it works, sobrang fulfilling siya. There's nothing wrong with trying out your very first chatbot with chatbot makers. Basically, they're just giving you much easier access to the APIs na pinaprovide ni Facebook, for example. Kasi they're doing it already. So ito yung chatbot maker, ito yung Facebook. So they're just using the Facebook API lang din, but they're making it easier for you. And if you want to delve deeper, kunyari nakagawa ka na using the chatbot maker, want to check out the Facebook API, then try building it from scratch then.
From Mark William Regala, can AI be integrated to chatbots in platforms such as Facebook Messenger?
Yes. The one that we deployed earlier is AI solution. Since since chatbot is an NLP is a subset of AI, that's AI powered. Yeah, that's NLP. We're using NLP to help businesses para tulungan sila to solve to answer yung mga repetitive questions.
Another one from Hannah Magpulong. Hi sir, paano po pag walang website na mapagkukuhanan ng facts? Can you type it directly po in that Q&A maker?
Yes, you can directly type it. I'll open it. I'll share my screen again. Hold on. This one. You can directly type your own Q&A pair. So add Q&A pair here. Yan. So ito, ikaw na yung gumagawa. If you have additional na wala dun sa website or wala dun sa file na pinagtitingnan mo, you can add it here. So you can easily customize naman. So if you don't have it available, you don't have a website, you don't have a file for your FAQs, you can manually add it here. Ayan.
Our last question, Micah Javier from Micah Javier. Hi Patrick, are there third-party AI platforms that we can connect with the chatbot?
Yes. Luis is just one of the AI platforms that we can use to connect our chatbots. There are a lot. Another one would be IBM Watson, Amazon Lex, and also there's also one for Google. So there's what we call Dialogflow. So there are a lot of AI platforms that you can use for your chatbot to use. Also, you can try mixing multiple products. You can try creating a chatbot in Microsoft Bot Framework, but your NLP solution would be using Amazon Lex or Google Dialogflow. So you can mix match your solutions based on yung kailangan ng client mo or yung kailangan ng project. Yeah.
Okay, our last question talaga. Hello po, are chatbots different from voice assistants like Siri or Alexa?
They're under the same umbrella of conversational AI. This is where we try to extract information from the human inputs. So conversational AI can be in chats or messages or in voices. So pero yun. There's also speech to ano din naman. So it's almost the same. Ang pinakaiba lang is how the user interacts with the service, kung either chat or voice. So they're under the same umbrella, conversational AI.